Here we go, and it is time for another sprint zone. This one's for 725, and we have a nice lively crew, as well as the big man, aka Superman Byron Besserell, who has returned to the fold after gallivanting around the country. And we see him there pointing out objects. Group's looking really strong, well positioned here, and the nice position with Byron and John here, 2 by 2, and then behind him, that's the First City guys. Looks like John and maybe Keith, keeping the gap management between the bikes proper. Hell, I'm gonna say this again. In a lot of these rides, this one not being any exception, people are riding too basically effing close, and you end up with this pedal pedal coast, and then accelerating when you let the gap open up too much. People, like covering the brakes and everything. Look at Byron here. He's not covering his brakes per se. Not covering. Other people have their fingers like all over there and ready because they're riding like just too close. Because it makes them look like they're a pro or something like that. One of my pet peeves. I see it all the time. Anyway, I've digressed enough. Maybe I didn't have enough coffee this morning. Well, I didn't have any coffee, so special thanks to Byron for giving me his telemetry. And for Scott for giving me his camera. So we have a couple different views. So I've got, power, 30-second power and heart rate for myself and Byron as we make this one a little more interesting because we can see what the big man up front is actually doing. Nice picture here. And once again, Byron very comfortable. No covering of the brakes or anything. He knows how to manage gaps. He knows how to ride properly. Not like a lot of people that, well, I won't digress on this one. Anyway, a little bit of lethargy here. Not going super fast, but that's okay. It's a semi-hot day. And with the big man there, everyone knows that things are going to be a little bit different. Got Steve right behind me, and we have a peloton of people sitting in. Looking at my power, yeah, things are starting to hot up a little bit because the average 30-second power of what, 216, 15, and then Byron up there with 230, 40 watts. Yeah, that's a lot of wattage. But no crazy attacks yet, and everyone's riding pretty safely. And take a look. Yeah, there's the big man up there. I mean, just sitting there like a piston, like a sewing machine, legs just going up and down. No, apparently no effort. But looking at the watts, average 30-second watts, 300. So we know what's going on here. And even mine, my average watts at 242. I'm almost wondering if my power meter is actually calibrated correctly, but it is the SRM, so that's usually pretty close. Anyway, this actually shows being close to the pointy end of the stick, how much extra wattage you have to put out to stay up there. And it is not easy. At this point, nothing crazy. And this is because of the high wattage being put out there. It's keeping everybody in check. If anybody wonders, when you watch the pro races, when you send teams up the front to control the pace, especially when climbing the mountains, that the tempo is so high, no one can go around, and that's what is occurring here. Byron got a little bit of a gap on me. I was not willing to go with whatever he was putting out. Byron in the middle of the road, not certain what's up with that, since it's a slight echelon, right shoulder to left shoulder. But anyway, I've had enough of this. Time for me to go relax because why tow everybody around? Oh, and there's Hernan, got his bike back. I'm certain he's happy to have that one. JC, some of the others, Dean, a lot of people fresh off of races. Oh, and in the back here, we got a good view of Rick and Isla. Sometimes they don't like to participate in such things, but if there's a big draft, why not? And there goes somebody off the front. I don't know who that is. Um, Maybe that was Byron. I'm too far back to see it. And of course, that is the problem. You drift back and you get shelter, and people are unable to run people down. But with the thanks of Scott and his camera, we can see people working hard, just a ramming and a thumping, trying to bring back that recalcitrant. Looks good up there. And you can see Byron putting out the big wattage, 30-second wattage, over 300. And you can see how mine has relaxed, gone to the back, my 30-second power at a mere 171. Very nice. As people begin to fall off the back, Mike Weeda out there in the wind, too much for him. Myself sitting behind Jason, just kissing the yellow line there, well within the rules of engagement. And there's a look back. So for any of you people that wanted to get your panties in a bunch, there aren't any cars behind us, so it is free for us to play on the road. And I'm going to say it again, like, why do we think cars are actually king? Why do we think that they're more important than us? We have that ingrained in us. But another digression. Looking up front, nice little formation echelon up there, looks like a double echelon. And I'm sitting in the back, enjoying the peacefulness of the draft. Back way far at the tail end, much further than I'd like to be, but I'm a little weary from doing the Foco Fondo on over the weekend, so I'm happy with this. And I'll live a little bit longer to keep the camera in focus. Looks like looking at Scott's camp, people have been brought back, and it is Grupo Compacto. Everyone's looking really smooth here, and with the high tempo and cadence, no one is looking to make an attack at this point. So we're coming up on this little bridge. I think at this point the cameras have gotten out of sync because, well, I had to have two files, and it takes the 360 camera but time to get itself filming again. But anyway, starting to come up on this little grade, and group is bunching up a little bit. JC kissing the yellow line as everyone wants to be close. Not certain who's out there, oh, but we must have slowed down a bit. No doubt that the big man must not be out front, and I'm not certain who's doing the work. But it is, in fact, a strong group today. Oh, perhaps is it the legend Matthew Michaels up there? Could be. Once again, hitting it hard, back in the fold. Jason back here. Ian, once again, in his favorite kit. And I've decided at this point, I'm back here a little too far and time to move up a little bit. There are others that just want to ride the coattails. I can see, Mark of the Fort Collins Cycling Club, not team, but club in the red there, taking a lot of wind. And this is due to the lack of savvy and unfortunately riding with the Fort Collins Cycling Club a bit too much. And I'm going to say this, I'll say it in public, you can call me out on it. You guys don't ride like a group. Every Fort Collins Club Ride of Dawn is like a freaking race where people attack and everybody's out on their own. I'll do it because it's like sort of good training to do all that, but it doesn't teach good group riding skills. Okay, enough of my lecture and digression there. Fort Collins Cycle Club people, feel free to talk to me and we can go through what you're doing wrong and I can help you out. Anyway, everybody going hard here, strung out in an echelon. People, just kissing the rules at this point. I come out in the wind a little bit because I was at the tail of the echelon anyhow. Want to make certain I get some reasonable position on this little grade. People working hard. Danny on the new bike standing up. A little bit of struggle there, but able to maintain contact. Grupo Compacto, and this is one of the stronger groups that I've seen all year. Is everybody has gotten to the point where they're not going to get dropped unless strong men attack. It used to be in the older days, JC would attack earlier and the men could not run him down. But the strength, Mr. Lawyer, Mr. Michaels, Mr. Besserell, and Scott, people strong enough to bring these boys back. Looking at my 30-second power, 170, not big. Byron pushing the big watts out there, and it must be go time. He must be at the front. 400, 500 instantaneous watch, 50-second, 30-second power, over 380 and climbing, 30-second power, over 400. Yeah, it is definitely go time. And no one is going to attack this one except for the big man. Maybe JC on this one, but everyone's in good position at this point. And if you have not seen the pointy end of the stick, you are well rested. Even myself back here, 30-second power over 300, which is way over my FTP. looking at my heart rate, haven't talked about that much, 176. Wow, and Byron up there, 175, and he has gone off the front and let us see what's going on. Yeah, I can see JC going hard, not going to let this one go. And it is game over for the rest of us, and the group has been split. The final attack, and I'm trying to go to the front. This is why I don't like to be back there because I missed the bus. But there's Hernan looking strong, much stronger showing on his new bike. I'm trying to grab the wheel on this one, but at this point, if I can believe my heart rate at 184, it's that's crazy for me these days. I don't know if it's I need to get a wrist or a chest strap to verify what's coming off my wrist here. Usually it reads low, it's maybe reading high here, but not unplausible. Anyway, excellent job. I come over the top in a position of, well, completion, top five maybe, and I'm good with that. And a good time was had by all. Strong showing. Nice to see Byron back, keeping everybody honest. That was good. I'm not certain who these people are that like to ride in the middle of the road. Like, the sprint's over. You don't need any draft. There's really no reason to be riding anywhere but next to the white line. I don't know how to say that. I think people's norms have been, let's just ride in the middle of the road. Like, why? You always have to look back. Yeah, it shouldn't be your default position of where to ride. It's just a bad habit to be in. Reeks of entitlement. Um, and if I pissed a few people off with that little lecture, so be it. Maybe less people will come. Make the ride a little more manageable. Make it easier for me to get podium. Anyway, thanks everyone. Peace out. Until next time, party on.